Hi, and welcome to English-Fabule. Are you learning English? Great. Let's learn English with a very interesting story. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment. Let's get started.
Imagine a very quiet village deep in the mountains of Japan. This village is called Nagoro. When you first arrive, you might see many people everywhere, waiting for a bus, playing in the schoolyard, or working in fields. But if you look closer, you will see something surprising. These are not real people. They are life-sized dolls. A local artist, Tsukimi Ayano, carefully made each one. She has spent more than 20 years creating over 350 of these dolls. They are everywhere in the village. The dolls sit in old classrooms, stand in gardens, and wait patiently at the bus stop. These dolls are more than just art. Each one represents a person who once lived in Nagoro. Many villagers moved away to big cities like Tokyo for work or a new life. Others grew old and passed away. As real people left, Tsukimi Ayano made a doll to remember them, helping to keep memories alive. Nagoro used to be a busy place with about 300 residents. Today, fewer than 30 real people live there. This means the dolls now greatly outnumber the actual villagers. For example, the village's elementary school closed in 2012 after its last 2 students left. Now only dolls sit at the desks inside. This strange village is a powerful symbol. It shows a big problem happening across Japan. Thousands of small towns and villages, much like Nagoro, are slowly disappearing. People are leaving, and fewer children are being born. This makes communities quiet and empty. Nagoro helps us understand this quiet change, a clear sign of many empty homes and silent streets across the Japanese countryside. 2. Stories from the villages. In Japan, many small villages are changing. The people living there see these changes every day. Masako Takeda is an elderly woman, 78 years old. She lives in a quiet mountain village where only 8 people remain. Masako cares for the village's memories, its small shrine, and the community garden. She remembers the school filled with children. Now it holds old records. Masako also feeds cats in empty homes and checks on houses for neighbors who left. She is like a guardian for her fading village. Hiroshi Yamamoto, 35, carries a heavy feeling. 3 years ago, he left his family's rice farm in Akita for a job in Tokyo. This ended 6 generations of farming. His parents, now in their 70s, sold the land. Hiroshi feels sad and guilty. He buys special rice from his home area in Tokyo and reads local news online. He knows he cannot truly go back, feeling like a visitor to his own childhood. Kenji Sato works for a town in Shimane Prefecture. His job is to manage closing public services like schools and post offices. His maps show bus routes stopping and schools shutting down. He says it is hard to close a school important for 100 years. Kenji also deals with akiya, abandoned houses. Many children move away and do not claim their parents' old homes. These houses become dangers. Kenji feels he is writing the story of his community ending. Yuki Nakamura is a young teacher, 29 years old. She teaches all 6 students in a school in a fishing village. She will likely be the last teacher here. When her students finish, the school will close. Yuki teaches them about local fishing and old village festivals. She wants them to remember their heritage. She records their drawings and old songs, hoping these memories will last. She knows her job is to help them say goodbye to their childhood home. 3. Fewer people, older people. The main reason why many Japanese towns are disappearing is simple. There are fewer people being born, and the people who live there are getting older. This situation is called demographic change. It means that the number of young people is going down, and the number of old people is going up. Japan has one of the lowest birth rates in the world. This means women are having very few children. In 2024, the average woman had only about 1 child in her lifetime. To keep the population the same size, women need to have about 2 children each. So, Japan is having much fewer babies than it needs. Even in big cities like Tokyo, women are having less than 1 child on average. This low number of births is a big problem for the future. At the same time, Japan has the oldest population in the world. Almost 30% of all people are over 65 years old. In the countryside, this number is even higher. Sometimes more than half of the people in a village are over 65. For example, in a village called Nanmoku, more than 2/3 of the people are over 65. This means there are many old people and very few young people. Every year, more people die than are born in Japan. This is called natural decrease. In 2024, almost 1 million more people died than were born. This means the country's total population is getting smaller very quickly. For every 1 baby born, more than 2 people passed away. This trend is hard to stop. Because of this, many small towns are caught in a death spiral. When a village loses its last children, the people left are too old to have more children. This means the village will eventually disappear. Experts think that by 2040, nearly 900 towns in Japan might not have enough young people to keep basic services working. This change is happening very fast in Japan. In just a few decades, the country has gone from having many births and a younger population to very few births and a much older population. Other countries saw these changes over hundreds of years, but Japan is seeing them much faster. This makes it very hard for towns to change and adapt. This combination of fewer babies and more old people means the population in many towns is shrinking quickly. This makes it hard to find workers, keep schools open, or even keep doctors in small villages. It is a big challenge for Japan's countryside. 4. Big cities and small towns. There is a clear reason why many people in Japan move to big cities like Tokyo. These large cities offer the best jobs and many different opportunities. Young people, especially, are drawn to them. They go to big cities for university to get a good education. After finishing their studies, most of them find work and stay in the city because there are more career choices and better salaries. The Tokyo area, for example, is home to almost 40 million people. This is about 1/3 of Japan's total population. Tokyo's economy is very powerful, creating many chances for work that small towns cannot offer. This strong pull means that young people often leave their homes in the countryside. They believe their future is brighter in the city. When young people leave, small towns start to face problems. There are fewer customers for local businesses. This means shops, restaurants, and other services slowly close down. As businesses shut, there are even fewer jobs for the people who remain in the town. This makes life less appealing and the quality of life can go down. Farming is another big part of this change. Japan has many old farmers. When they retire, their children are often already living in the city, so there is no one to continue the family farm. This leaves many farms empty or abandoned. The land that was worked for generations becomes unused. With fewer people, local governments also collect less tax money. This means they can't afford to keep all public services running. Buses and trains are important for connecting small towns. But if there are only a few passengers, these routes often stop running. This makes it very hard for older people or those without cars to go to hospitals, shops, or see friends. Small towns become more isolated. The government has also combined many small towns into larger ones to save money. This process often means that schools, post offices, and local government offices in the smaller villages close their doors. Services move to the bigger central town. For people in these small villages, it feels like they are losing even more. Their community centers disappear, and essential services are much further away. This makes living in the countryside much more difficult and less convenient. The growth of big cities comes at the cost of small towns disappearing. 5. Changing families and dreams. Life in Japan is changing in big ways. Old ideas about family and what people want are different now. For a long time, families lived together. Children, especially the oldest son, would stay in the family home. They took care of their old parents and the family business, like a farm. This was called the I system. It helped small towns stay alive because someone always stayed. But now many young people do not want this kind of life. They want more personal freedom. They want to choose their own path. This is especially true for young women. In the past, women in small towns had few choices. They often married local men and had to take care of their husband's parents. This meant a lot of unpaid work at home. Today, many young women go to university and want a good job. They see city life as a place for careers and more freedom. They feel that traditional rural life does not fit their dreams. Fewer people are getting married in Japan. Young people are waiting longer, or they decide not to marry at all. This is a big problem for small towns. If people do not marry and have families, there are no children. And without children, communities cannot continue. It also means that the few young people who stay in rural areas find it hard to find a partner because many others have already moved to cities. Education also plays a key part in these changes. Good students often leave their hometowns to go to big universities in cities like Tokyo. Their parents and teachers often tell them to do this for better chances. After they finish university, these bright students usually do not come back to their small towns. They find jobs and build their lives in the cities. Education also plays a key part in these changes. Good students often leave their hometowns to go to big universities in cities like Tokyo. Their parents and teachers often tell them to do this for better chances. After they finish university, these bright students usually do not come back to their small towns. They find jobs and build their lives in the cities. This takes away the smartest and most capable young people from the countryside. This is sometimes called a brain drain. Also, old family rules are not as strong as before. In the past, children felt a strong duty to care for their aging parents. Now, there are more services for older people, so children do not always need to stay close. People also feel more strongly about their own happiness and goals than about old family duties. All these changes make small towns lose their young people and their future. 6. The government's plan. The Japanese government is trying to help its disappearing towns. They have made many plans. They want people to move from big cities like Tokyo to the countryside. This can help bring new life to small villages. One plan offers money to families. If a family moves from Tokyo to a rural area, they can get 1 million yen for each child. This money helps with housing and finding jobs. The government also has special websites. These websites list thousands of empty houses. People can get these houses for free or for a very low price. The idea is for new people to fix them and live there. Another idea is to create hometown residents. This plan asks city people to connect with rural towns using apps. The government hopes these digital connections will make people want to visit or move to the countryside later. They also brought fast internet to many remote areas. This lets people work from home, even if they live far from big cities. However, these plans have not been very successful. Not many young families are moving. Often, older people move to the countryside for cheaper homes after they stop working. Some government changes, like joining small towns together, have also caused problems. These changes sometimes close local schools and offices. So, many rural areas still struggle to find new residents. The government continues to look for better ways. 7. New people and new ideas. Many towns in Japan are finding new ways to survive. Some people from big cities like Tokyo are now moving to the countryside. They want a different life, away from busy city streets and long work hours. City life can be expensive and stressful. In the countryside, they find cheaper homes and more nature. They look for a better balance between work and life. Remote work helps make this possible. These new people bring fresh ideas and energy to small villages, helping to start new projects. Artists are also helping to bring change. They move to small villages and start special projects. For example, in Kamiyama, artists from different countries live and work for a time. They make art with local people and learn about the village's history. These art projects make the villages interesting for visitors, showing new life in old places. This also helps local shops and businesses by bringing in more money. Technology plays an important role too. Farmers in Japan are getting older, and many farms have no young family members to take over. But new technology helps. Smart tools with cameras can tell tea farmers the best time to pick leaves. Sensors watch over plants like wasabi. Some old factories are now indoor farms, growing vegetables with special lights and water. These ideas help farmers work smarter and keep producing food. Solar panels can also sit above farm fields, making electricity and extra money for the farms. Even empty or old places are finding new uses. Some abandoned towns or buildings now attract tourists. People visit these places to see what life was once like. Nagoro, the village with many dolls, is a good example. The dolls show how many people used to live there, bringing visitors from all over the world. These visitors spend money, helping the local economy. Old theme parks or forgotten islands also become places people want to explore. These creative ideas help rural communities find hope for their future. 8. Japan's story is the world story. Japan's story about its disappearing towns is important for the whole world. It is like looking into the future for many other countries. Across Europe and Asia, many places will soon face the same big problems. For example, South Korea has a very low birth rate, even lower than Japan's. Countries like Italy and Germany also have many old people and fewer young people being born. Even a large country like China is getting older quickly, moving millions of people from the countryside to cities. This global trend shows Japan is not alone. The world can learn many lessons from Japan's journey. Other nations can carefully observe what Japan has tried, both the successes and the failures. For instance, some government plans to encourage families to move to the countryside did not bring enough young people. Merging small towns often meant closing local schools and offices, which sometimes made towns disappear faster. These experiences offer other countries clear examples of what mistakes to avoid when trying to help rural areas. However, Japan also shows great hope and creativity. Some villages are using art programs to bring new energy and visitors. Artists work with local people, creating projects that keep cultural memory alive. New technology also helps old farmers continue their important work. These Creative ways to live with fewer people teach us that communities can find strength and dignity even when they are shrinking. It is possible to adapt and find new purpose. The story of Japan's towns makes us think about deep questions. What truly makes a community strong and able to last? How can people keep their unique culture and long history when towns become much smaller? How do we value the important ways of life that might not create a lot of money, but preserve old knowledge, close relationships, and a connection to the land? Japan teaches us that even with big changes, people can find new meaning and hope. It shows that societies can adapt with grace and strength even as they get smaller. This is a story about how we can live well even when there are limits. Japan's experience helps us to think about our own future and how we can keep our communities strong and connected. What do you think is the most important lesson the world can learn from Japan's changing towns and villages?
Hey there! Just a second before you go. If you learned something new today, please give this video a like, write your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe to the channel. It only takes a second, and it really, really helps to create even better English videos for you. Your support means the world. Thank you.